Ja.
The direct cause of the oil lighter found
Muss das Tür öffnen und unterstützen mit dem Monokum benutzt.
Did they use the oil?
They probably just based on the shape of it can stand up
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
some way. Maybe they used invisible
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused. I agree with that.
Jo. Jo.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
Was? Klappt nicht.
No, not wind pressure. They'd probably use the Monokuma panels.
Ja. Was auch immer
A huge number
Sonja.
of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line.
Jo.
Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Und manche sind sogar leicht verbrannt.
Does that
Leicht,
mean
sie sind
anything?
verbrannt. Nein, Fujiko, ich hab das einfach nur so gesagt, weil ich Lust hatte. Natürlich!
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
Hat Kazuichi... steckt das an? Geht das rum?
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
Ja, das sind Dominos. Hast du gut aufgepasst, Sakane?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
Ja.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
Ja.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
Ja, die paar Panels, die random rumlagen. He did one other thing to hide the domino effect.
Crap!
No, that's not it. I need to think it over one more. Hä, was soll ich denn da sonst nehmen?
Crap!
Auch nicht. Hä? Ja, warte mal, was?
I see!
Ja, ja, warte, MP3-Player.
You were talking about the MP3 player, right?
Ich hätte was anderes in Erinnerung, dass der was gemacht hat. Okay.
That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
Stimmt, daran habe ich gar nicht gedacht. Die würden ja auch ein Geräusch abgeben. The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blared throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, did you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Doesn't get like listening to this depressing crap. I'm not talking about that music. As if on cue, it suddenly started.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
Jo.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine, I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Just there, it'll be fine. With those words, a cannon brushed off everyone's warning and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. Clatter, clatter. Huh? It's not opening! Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it! I knew it! It's a trap, Susan! Just stop it, okay? Didn't I tell you it'll be fine? I just gotta use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? I kinda ignored the protest and with a mighty kick, the door flew open.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
Ja.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Wahrscheinlich würde die zugehalten, um zu versichern, dass der Domino-Effekt auch wirklich zustande kommt und man nicht durch ganz vorsichtiges, langsames Öffnen halt den Domino-Effekt nicht auslöst und halt die ganze Aktion halt nicht macht.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
Ja.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
Ja, das würde nämlich bedeuten, dass der Mörder schon im Raum drinne war. Was? Der das aufgebaut hat. Aber, so wenn man das auch noch jetzt bedenkt, gibt es halt noch einen weiteren Grund, wieso es nicht einer von uns sein kann. Keiner von uns hätte dann außerhalb des Warehouses sein können.
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse... I see! So the problem Chiaki's talking about is... They could have hidden inside, we couldn't take any merch, the killer couldn't have left.
I see!
Und das andere brauche ich gar nicht vorzulesen.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Genau.
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Bieten, wenn das ganze Gebäude im Brand stand.
Ooh, we were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Und das.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
Sorry, das hast du schon mal gesagt. Und wir haben gesagt, ja, das stimmt. Aber das erklärt trotzdem nicht, dass wir alle halt draußen waren. Also, das schon, also, ne. Das ist jetzt nicht eine Aussage, die du sagen kannst, um zu sagen, dass einer von uns das war.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Hä?
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
Was ich die ganze Zeit schon sage. The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse, there's only one person who could have done that. Wo ist er? Da ist er.
This is my answer.
Hätte nur Nagito gewesen sein.
What if it was Nagito?
Ja.
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
Selbstmord.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Ja.
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid.
Es ist Nagito. Sind wir jetzt echt an einen Punkt angekommen, wo wir das ihm noch nicht mehr zutrauen? Nachdem er eigentlich schon so viel gemacht hat und sich sogar... Er hat sich bei der Party sogar, vor der Party sogar, bereitgestellt, dass er sich freiwillig opfert. Solange Hoffnung daraus kam, war es ihm egal, ob er lebt oder stirbt. Also wieso ist es außer der Möglichkeit, also wieso sollte das keine Möglichkeit sein, dass er einen Selbstmord macht?
His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget?
Ja, aber er steht ja darauf.
Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
Ja.
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
Ja.
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember?
Ja.
Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Man mag es denken, aber ein Arm war ja nicht ganz tied up.
Yeah, you're right.
Nein, Chiaki, also gut, ja, ich bin der Einzige, der... Ein Arm. Ein Arm, das Seil hat eine Brandstelle. Das suggestieren mag, dass das Feuerzeug da umgekippt ist und das Seil abgebrannt. Aber dann müsste ja auch ein anderes Teil vom Seil gewesen sein. Gab es nicht. Ergo. Aber vielleicht ist das... Ja, und... Das heißt, bevor das Spiel dann kam... Hat er dann trotzdem immer noch eine Hand zur Verfügung. Er hätte sich trotzdem diese Wunden zufügen können. Ja, dann... Was mit... Ja, dann... War das beim Spiel nicht sogar ein Gewicht? War das nicht... Noch nicht mal das?
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Gar nicht?
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Was, wenn er nicht... Wieso? Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but... I feel like I'm overlooking something. Ja, zum Beispiel das Seil, was nirgendwo angebunden war. An seinen Arm. Ja, du kannst... Nimm das.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
If our assumption that Nigeria committed suicide was correct, he should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Okay. So.
Crap! To actually tie up your own arms, that's obvious.
Tying just the leg, tying both arms
Ah,
would be
ich-
impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible.
How about if you use your...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and...
No, that's wrong.
Genau, ich stand auf dem Schlauch. Und auf dem Seil?
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
Ja.
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms.
Ja?
The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.